Hello everyone, and welcome to Herdwell's first roundtable series, Loud&Clear. I'm your host, Connor Franta, and today I am joined with Gabbie Hanna.
Hi.
Scotty Sire.
Hi.
Eva Gutowski.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going? Good?
It's good.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for driving all the way out here.
Wasn't that long?
Wasn't that bad for
Right.
us?
Wasn't bad.
You don't
That's
even know
it.
where we live.
No, I truly have no idea. You could live around the corner. No one even knows where we are, as we were talking about. Great.
We're in a black box.
Yeah. And now we're about to talk about mental health and anxiety in a
Perfect.
black box. So great and appropriate. Let's not go into that right off the bat. I wanted to start off with some more of a softball question and say that YouTube has been around for 14 years now, and we've started off with videos like me at the zoo, all the way building up to the biggest video right now, Despacito. What's it like to be a creator in 2019? How have things, because a lot of you have been on the platform for quite a long time, so what's it like to be a creator now?
Do you guys feel so old?
Oh yeah, I feel ancient.
Okay.
It's so weird because I remember when I started YouTube, everyone would look at me and be like, "Oh, you're like the new kid. Like you are don't have any reputation. Like you're even if you had followers, you don't matter. You're new." And then now people are like, "Oh yeah, how do you feel about new creators? You're pretty seasoned." And I'm like, I'm the one. I'm the old one now.
I'm old.
Oh no. Yeah.
Damn. Crazy.
Yeah, not to mention with Snapchat and TikTok.
Oh, God,
TikTok. I don't even know it. Yeah, where it's all really, really young kids.
Yeah.
I think if you've been to a convention lately and it's
Yeah.
13-year-olds and I'm like, oh my God, they're a decade.
I think it's funny that I feel like every season or every year there's a new app that came out. When we were Viners, people hated us. And it was these Viners. And now
it's the most
we're
nostalgic
all
app of
banding
all
against
time.
Musical.ly.
Yeah.
I remember a couple years ago there were so many videos about the Viner invasion on YouTube.
they called it that.
I remember that, but then I always watch the Vine compilations.
Yeah,
That's what
now
I
it's
mean.
the retro throwback thing,
is.
but yeah.
Yeah, the internet holds so much nostalgia towards it. I mean, I quote a Vine every single day. I had a tweet the other day where I was like, I'm going to be explaining Vines from decades ago to my kids because I quote them every day. I say hello every single day.
So true.
Hello?
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 Do you ever wonder though that if people were to make those same Vines today and then we were introduced to them today, would they still be funny?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because humor's changed so much, and now we look back at it as a funny, nostalgic thing. But
Yeah, but at the same time, have you been on Twitter? It's people make videos like
Yeah,
that all the
true.
time. So I
That is
wonder
true.
if it's just our small attention spans and appetite for minimal humor.
for sure.
Yeah,
There's so many quotable Vines. I could have dropped my croissant. I don't know.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
Oh
is so
my
good.
gosh. Yeah.
Well, not everything,
Good
but
times.
Yeah, but what's it like being a YouTube creator in 2019? Because everything has changed drastically over the years from a decade ago, but also just in the last year alone. I feel like everything is the culture has shifted.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think when you start any creative process, you're so fully invested in it because it's new to you and you're trying all these different types of new ideas and you're experimenting. But with everything, you get smarter as you keep doing something, and that innocence of being a creative, my whole world is in front of my eyes type of thing, it just slowly goes away, and you have to clamor to get that back. And now after uploading for so many years, it's I'm thinking way too much about everything because I have so many elements that I've learned along the years that go into my creative process. Whereas in the beginning, nothing. You're just throwing stuff at the wind.
Totally.
So definitely it's for me, it's harder to get into that creative, childlike mindset to make content. But I mean, I still love it so much, but it definitely is harder. The smarter you get, the more
It's
woke you
weird
get.
too because you're rewarded so much for what you're doing. So you're okay, so I started on story time. So I was okay, people are gonna love story times. This is what I'm gonna do. And I'm getting rewarded for story time and I'm getting the views and the money for story time.
Yep.
But then the trend changes. And it's well, you need to change with it, but I know how to do that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
what
you're
to do.
I just got my stride. I actually enjoy doing this thing.
Yeah, and then people are telling you we're sick of this. And it's well, I never said I was talented.
I get different little motivational waves. Every once in a while, I'm I don't know what I'm gonna post anymore, and then sometimes it'll be oh, I have a new idea and I can make multiple videos about that same idea.
Oh, that's called a manic episode.
Yeah. That's the symptoms leading up to burnout. Which is conveniently one of our topics.
Perfect.
That is true, though. I do that same thing where it's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do it to the point of I will literally cry thinking about making a YouTube video, and now I'm so far scheduled ahead and excited, and I'm going through this really good phase, and then
Wow.
that
Must be nice.
So you're scheduled ahead as in like you have videos already banked, ready to go?
I have like 9 weeks ahead right now. and I'm
How
just-
in the
Right.
Shit.
That's
hell?
what I'm saying. It's a manic episode.
Wow. I don't know how you...
I pre-film, like I get all that. I'm like, whoa, 9 videos I'm super excited about. And then I sit down to edit and I'm like, I'm very overwhelmed. And then like a week goes by and I'm like, okay, that was a week ago. I'm even more overwhelmed. And then the next week and I'm like, I hate every single video. Like there's probably
you're
like
over
hundreds
them.
of videos I've never even posted.
Oh,
That's
wow.
no, I would
Hundreds.
never waste content.
No,
baby. I
exactly.
don't-
Really?
That shit's going up. regardless.
When I put in the time, I'm like, it has to go.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you saying?
With like preloaded stuff, I feel like I would get that way. Like 3 weeks later, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to post this
Yeah,
anymore. I'm
it's
like,
not
yeah,
as,
I'm
like,
over
exciting.
it. Yeah.
But you have to remember too that you are used to the content, but everybody else is just seeing it for the first time. I do the same thing with my music, where I'll
Yeah.
make a song and
Yeah.
I'll listen to it 1,000 times, and I'm like, this kind of sucks. But then people are hearing it for the first time,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like photos.
and then a
too.
lot of people still think it sucks. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of photos I haven't even like edited, and then I can't even sit down to edit in front of someone because they'll see my like Lightroom timeline and be like, "Oh my gosh, why haven't you not posted this?" And I'm like, "Well, Karen, you want to sit down and edit all these 40,000 photos for me? Because like, I can't."
good for you on doing that. I
Yeah.
do not do that.
And then a lot of us here, I feel like, have been really open with struggles we've gone through and been very vulnerable in videos. Like, Gabbie, you talk about body image a lot and dating and your mental health, and you even write about it in your songs.
Should I take a pill to numb the pain? Change the chemicals inside my brain. I worry I won't be the same, but I guess that's the point.
For you, do you find it as a form of coping, a form of reducing stigma, or just truly you sharing your authentic self?
I think that I sometimes, and sometimes it works against me because if I'm having a negative feeling, I have to get it off my chest and I have to talk to it about it and I have to express it. And I don't do it so much with the positive things, because then it comes off as bragging. So I don't always come on social media, I'm so happy today, but if I'm hurting, if I don't say it, then it festers away and eats my soul. And I think that's probably just narcissism and feeling like my opinions need to be heard and my feelings are more valid than anybody else's. But
I think it's human.
it does help though, and you talk about stuff too. I think we all do. That's why we're here. But it does help, and then you learn as you're doing it that other people are relating, and then it's also helping them, and then you sort of have, like, you're helping me, and I'm helping you, and I get to talk about it, and you get to relate, and now we're having a conversation, and hopefully it takes away some of the stigma. And that's why I love talking about like therapy and stuff, because I was so ashamed when I was a kid.
I was massively stigmatized growing
So
up. I didn't
embarrassing.
know a single person that went to therapy growing up.
Yeah.
I feel like I was the first person I knew.
Was that just because no one talked about it though?
That's what I'm wondering. And
yeah.
I'm wondering I've always wondered if everyone has felt this anxious and there have been more depressed people, or if it's truly just people are finally comfortable talking about it, or if it's in relation to, and this is one of the questions I have, or if it's in relation to the spike in social media and everyone being, and I'm wondering if there is like a one answer for that, or if it's truly all of the above.
Well, what scares me too is sometimes I get nervous that, and it's such a fine line because I want everybody to openly talk about their anxiety and their depression and their eating disorders and whatever it is, but then I almost feel like it's become so trendy as well to be depressed. It's so relatable to be depressed, and if I tweet something depressing, then it's like so many retweets, and if I post a video crying, it's so many more views, and the songs that are sad get so many more streams, and now it's trendy and cool, and I don't know. Sometimes I get torn myself because I'm like, am I feeding into this
Definitely.
and making it worse?
I think there's definitely a culture of like depression, like romanticizing culture, and I hate it so much because it's all I see on my Twitter, like horrible like memes, you know, related to just like horrible things. And I kind of talk about it on my Twitter. I like call people out, being like, hey everybody, why are we making memes about this? But then the next day being like, oh my gosh, like check on your friends. Like, what are you tweeting? You know, like what are you putting out into the world?
Definitely. A lot of things I feel like people say are comfortable saying online, but they would never say in person. Like the amount of times I see, and I'm guilty of this too, but the amount of times I see people saying like, I want to fucking kill myself. And I'm like, if you said that in real life, and I have accidentally said that in real life as a joke and around people that aren't on the internet that often, and they take it very seriously because it's a really serious, it's a serious thing.
Or like the memes that are like, oh, when you hear like a knock on your door in the middle of the night, but you rather be dead anyway, and then it's like,
Okay.
Yeah. You're like,
it's like funny, but I'm like, we also should, like, why do we think this is funny?
I know, yeah.
And that's where I like feel the line is so thin, because you want to joke about it because that's how you get over it,
Yeah.
and you use humor to bring light to situations, and that's what comedians do, but also making it so much of a joke that now are people not taking it as a serious problem.
Definitely. I know. And I wonder if it's if it has like a long-term, if it's reducing the impact of the severity of mental illness long-term. Because I wonder if it's like normalizing it and romanticizing it, like you said, for younger kids, and they're seeing other people do it. So they're going to grow up and it's going to be a new way of coping with mental health in a way that's actually more negative than we thought it was. It started off as positive, but it turned into something negative.
Yeah, like people have their idols being open and talking about stuff, and then do they question whether or not they have something going wrong with them because someone cool thinks it too? I don't know.
Yeah.
It almost makes me feel like even in your happiest times, like when you have absolutely no thoughts of depression, if you see a tweet like that you relate to, you feel like you start to like inch back into thinking like, oh, if I find this funny, like I do want to like die or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like there's never going to be a fine line between like I'm okay, because everyone's going to always be like, yeah, I'm not okay, because that's like a funny meme.
Exactly, yeah. But then there's like people love negativity online, and I wonder if
So
it's just the online space of people, like you said, praising negative or sad or videos of struggle versus like like if you upload a video like I feel really good today, no one's gonna watch it.
No.
But why would they watch a video that you put
I'm
up?
okay.
I'm not okay.
okay.
Yeah, I bet it'd be like 2 views versus a million views, and I wonder why people are obsessed with that.
Well, it's just like reality TV. Nobody wants to see people being happy, functional people. They want to see people crashing and burning. And
But why?
Drama and the
Why?
gossip.
Just entertainment.
so
They want something
weird.
outside of themselves that's so extreme. Usually it's that thing that we all keep to ourselves, and people are so used to, going to school in the morning, putting a smile on your face because that's what you're supposed to do. So when you get to watch somebody breaking
You sounded
down
like that Katy
social
Perry
thing,
meme. I'm sorry.
Which one?
The one where she's like, you have to act like you're okay, but you're really not. Like you have to go to school and you have to put a smile on, but you're not okay.
I've never related more, but it is true. People want to watch people break down in a way that they wish they could break down.
Yeah.
And it's also just entertaining to watch people do stuff that you don't normally see them do in public.
Yeah, and you're right. I wonder if it is just like an escape from their lives in a way. But why do people want to escape into sadness? I don't get it. You'd think people would want to
But
watch.
I don't think it's so much escaping into sadness. I think it's just the voyeurism of watching people have these intimate moments, because they're generally intimate moments where
Yeah.
people aren't crying publicly. They're not like, if you're sitting at home and you want to bawl hysterically in your car, you're like, people can see in my car window. I have to wait till I get home.
Yeah.
But then you see somebody online just being like, I hate my life.
Yeah.
And it's not something you get to see, so it's different.
Yeah. It is like you're lifting the veil. You're peeking through a window you're not supposed to see in a way. Both of you do this, but I wanted to ask you, Scotty. You let out your emotions in music a lot, and you write about. You have 2 songs. What were they? You have one called "Sad Song" and "My Life Sucks."
If you're really sad, everything just turns out wrong.
Zola, Prozac, Lexapro, all antidepressants that I've tried before.
Do you find that music is a way for you to, again, like cope with anxieties or sadness, or is it more just your creative outlet?
It's definitely a creative outlet, but it also helps me cope. I like to write my feelings into the songs and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but I put them in a very like lighthearted way, because talking about mental health and stuff is hard. Like, I was anxious coming here to talk about mental health because you could say something stupid.
Exactly, and that's partially like why I wanted to create this space or lead the space, is because I feel like people think they're walking on eggshells at all times with a lot of, because not every episode is going to be about mental health, but it's going to be about issues that have like large stigmas with them. And I think that's so strange. Like, I don't know why why we live in a society where people don't feel like they can talk about something, even if they're wrong, and they're willing to learn and grow. Why do we make them feel so
People are
bad
like
about it?
castrated for saying the wrong thing now on the internet.
I know, and that's sad. I feel like we need to backtrack a bit, because it wasn't always that way.
No.
I agree. That's why I just try to talk about only the things that I personally experience or whatever, instead of talking about other people's feelings. I don't know how everyone else is feeling.
Yeah. Do you do the same with your music?
Yeah, I feel like music's the only way that you can actually fully express, because sometimes words are way too much and sometimes words just aren't enough. So if you can put it into like the actual production and the way you're singing it, and there's some things you just can't talk about publicly because it is too personal, so you can write a poem about it and then set it to music, and I think it's a beautiful way to do it. And I think no matter who you are, whether you're a musician or an artist, or even if you have no artistic talent, you need to find the thing that you are good at. And if you don't know what that is, ask somebody, what do you think I'm really good at? And then just work at that and use that as a way to express yourself.
Yeah, I feel like creators a lot of times tell their audiences, like, go do something creative. But then I always forget, not everyone's creative, nor does everyone want to be creative necessarily.
Go do math.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, there needs to be more emphasis on like the spectrum of humanity.
Or if you're just a nice person, so what's your favorite thing about me? And they say, you're really nice, then go volunteer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whatever your best quality is, work on that.
Yeah, really like hone in and focus on that.
Yeah.
You're very vulnerable, and you've released a few videos about past trauma.
There are some things in life you prepare for, and some things that just hit you like a ton of bricks.
It's such a hard topic to talk about, let alone make like a beautiful creative project around. Where do you find that vulnerability? Where do you is there ever a last moment where you think, I shouldn't be sharing this, or like this is scary to share this?
The things that I've been through, it's made me such a strong person, and I try to relate that to everyone that follows me, because like I used to limit myself so much and be like, oh, I can never achieve my dreams because I don't have XYZ, or I'm not living in XYZ, or I haven't gotten into this and that. And it just tore me down so much. I felt like I was living for absolutely nothing. I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I felt like I was a wasted person. And it was all just stuff that I was labeling myself and putting on top of me. It was like I was burying myself in like bricks, you know?
Yeah.
And one night I was like 14, and I don't know, something just came to me where I was like, you're crying in your bedroom every single night because you're limiting yourself, because you're waiting on someone else to take all these bricks off of you that you've put on yourself. Like, that's never going to happen. And I don't know what came to me, what I saw, what made me like think that. But after that night, I kind of sat down and was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes to lift these bricks off of me and get to where I want to go. And how do I do that? So I started like making lists just in my like crappy little bedroom in my grandma's house. And I would make lists of everything that I love to do. And I would cross out all the things that I didn't think would be like my favorites. And I narrowed it down to 5. And then I started emailing all these companies and like try to get a job. No one hired me. And like nothing was working.
14?
Yeah.
I know, I was just gonna say, where do you get that like, was that all you, or did you have someone that you were looking up to?
No, I was like literally sitting in my bedroom, and I was just like, I'm just gonna make lists and like go for it. And I was
That's so special.
I started like looking up emails to like magazine companies in New York, being like, can I come tour your office?
Wow.
Having no money to like get to New York. I lived in Orange County.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something in me was like, you need to do this. Either you aren't gonna do it or you're gonna do it. And I just tried to do it. And I guess I just one day just was like, you're not going to be depressed anymore.
Wow.
Like, no matter what it takes, like you're stopping this right now in that bedroom. And so ever since then, everything that's come, struggles have happened since then. It's not like my life's been perfect since then. But I just kept telling myself, what you're going to do with your life is going to make all this make sense and worth it. Anything that comes and happens to you is for a greater purpose. And I believe that the purpose is to make it normal to go through things with everyone that looks up to me. So that's kind of what inspires me to talk about it, is it's like, I didn't come from anything. I didn't come from money. I didn't come from a perfect family. I didn't come from like perfect sexuality, like nothing, And I made my life something that I really love. So I don't know. I kind of like, when someone's like, oh, I can't do this because of this. I'm like, girl, boy, I have all these things and I'm happy. You can be happy too,
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm not scared, because I'm like, dude, everyone goes through something. And
I'm
like,
taking notes.
I know. I'm like, you're the youngest one at this table. You have it way together more than I do.
I was like, listen, like, here's everything that I've gone through. I'm laying it all out on the table for you so that I can at least be one person that shows you that, like, you are okay. You're fine. We can all have a beautiful life.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, because we like to, or at least I know I do, like, as much as I want to feel good all the time, when I'm feeling bad, there's something good about feeling bad. And it's really easy to kind of like let yourself soak in that for a really long time. Yeah. And it's almost like you're addicted to the sadness in a strange way. So I don't know where you get the strength to like come out of that.
Gautier?
Did I? Did he actually?
Addicted to a certain kind of sadness.
Oh no.
Unintentionally. The voice of our generation.
Truly.
Maybe it's kind of like effed up, but like since I write music and I love to write poetry, I kind of like relish in those sad moments for the purpose of creating art.
Oh,
Definitely.
I
I do that all the
So
time.
I need that.
Yeah, like if a guy, I'm like, this guy's gonna break my heart. I'm like, all right.
I literally think
gonna
that
make
all the
some good
time.
music,
Like October rolls around, I'm like, where's he at?
Come on, people, hurt me.
Been a minute. Need some material.
Sing the baby.
Somebody hurt me.
I think that's
not
just
that
like
bad,
the typical annoying artist just suffering for our pain and
Yeah.
our art.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like my mind is very like romantic. I love to live in like, I don't know, this kind of like fantasy, but I also am a total realist, so I can like turn it off and on. But like I love to just be like romantic and sad and like, but at the end of the day, like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Ava, you need to stop this. It's getting a little too much.
Wow. So much control.
Truly.
More control than I have.
I cried eating a Subway sandwich last night.
I relate to that so hard. You were talking about your upbringing and your identity, your sexual identity. Does any part in any of your identity play into your mental health? So any part of your race, your religion, your sexuality, did it play into like the ups or the downs of your mental health state, do you think? Like
I'm a straight white girl. I'm
yeah.
pretty good.
I was gonna say, because I know like being a gay man, I know that definitely contributed to my depression and my anxiety. And I think that was actually kind of the root cause of it because I was trying to keep that secret for so long. So I think that was in a weird way like the beginning. And there's a lot of trauma that stems from that keeps it here today. So it's always the kind of like, how do I undo that? Because I'm very comfortable being like out and proud and gay and loud. And I feel like I just said loud and clear in that whole thing. But someone was saying when we were saying the name, they're like, it sounds like a gay anthem. I was like, I fucking hope it does. Good. Great.
Nice.
Everything should. But yeah, that definitely, so does any part of your identities, it doesn't have to be a sexuality thing, or you don't have to be a different race, but does any part of your upbringing, you know what I mean?
I feel like
upbringing for me.
I don't know. I like to say that like, because when I was going to therapy, my therapist was definitely like, there's all different types of therapists. And my particular therapist that someone recommended to me was just like, hi, what's your name? Oh, Ava. Okay, tell me about your family. Okay, your family did all this to you. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I have a good handle on my emotions. And I don't feel like a lot of those things like impact,
See,
my
I feel the
stress
literal
levels.
opposite, where every problem I've ever had in my life, I've finally been able to trace back to like my childhood and my upbringing. And like, why am I so offended when people are late? Like, why am I so angry when people are late? Why is it like?
I feel like she was trying to make me like
Maybe.
think, maybe you were brainwashed into
That's
thinking
probably
that.
true.
Maybe you were at like an acting school and that was someone playing a therapist. It sounds like the question
Yeah.
like a fake therapist would ask you right at the
The
beginning.
whole thing, like I'd be like, oh, I'm mad because like I missed my dentist appointment today, and she's like, you're mad because your dad when you were 12 like didn't pick you up from school. I'm like, no, I don't think I am.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. You're the professional. Like,
Yeah.
The only thing that my past definitely affects me on like a very deep level, pretty much to this day, but I finally, within the past maybe like year, have been able to like connect those dots. And now that you understand it, it's a lot easier for me to change my behaviors. Because like I was saying, like, why is it making me so mad that people are late? Why does it make me so mad when it feels like people are ignoring me? Like, what are those things? And it all stemmed back to that. But I think as far as like identity, I was so ashamed of my past and was so afraid to talk about it for years until I was 26 or 27, but I was like ashamed to talk about abuse. I was ashamed to talk about like extreme poverty. So I didn't. So I was harboring all of that and it was festering. And then these little tiny things that would like trigger me that I wouldn't understand why they were triggering me finally came to light. And then I realized it's not my fault that I was poor. It's not my fault that I was abused. It was not like, none of this is my fault. And in my head, for some reason, it was shameful. And then once I finally let go of that like shame and I accepted that's where I came from and it was for a reason, then it became better. But for the majority of my life, up until the last year, it ruined me.
Do you think something about like working your way into a privileged situation made you not want to talk about it even more for a while? But then when you had the time, not to presume that you have a lot of time, but now that you were in the privileged situation, it was like settling and it's like, oh, I have a lot of stuff I need to work through. And I finally had a moment to like stop and see it.
Yeah, the way my therapist actually kind of described it to me was, because I've seen PTSD, which is like a complex PTSD essentially, and he said that everything was like tunnel vision. So I wasn't noticing all these little things because I was constantly bracing for impact. So nothing else matters. All I'm looking at right now is like surviving today, getting through today. I need to make sure that I'm never poor again. I need to make sure that nobody ever hurts me again. So when you're so hyper focused on like ignoring the past and trying to secure your future, all the little details are completely ignored.
Definitely.
To the point where like I was missing the weirdest things in my life. Like I was like, oh my God, I need storage space. This place is so small. And then I realized I have 4 completely empty, huge cupboards that my brain literally blocked out. Like weird things like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like blocking out large chunks of time, like large sections of geography from my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
My brains are powerful in that way.
Yeah, they're spooky.
Wow.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're very spooky. And they're not developed until you're, what, 26?
Yeah.
What are we doing to them at this point? I worry so much for kids with phones nowadays. Like, I really, I'm so glad I didn't have a cell phone until I was like at least, it's like 14, but it was nowhere near internet capabilities.
Yeah.
I wasn't worrying about what I look like at all times. I wasn't worrying about what people thought about what I looked like at all times.
And the quantifiable indicator of how much more hot are you than the person in your math class. Because she has
Quantifiable
that.
indicator. What is
Yeah,
going
I
on?
But it is scary though, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine like being in high school right now in a classroom and like you have all these people have like numbers attached to them.
It's not subjective anymore. Before it
No.
could be like, Ava's ugly.
Yeah.
Why? Because she is. But now it's, well, Ava's
like, whoa.
I don't think that.
She gets less likes than.
I'm like,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
Now you
fully.
can literally look at it, like the followers are huge in these schools, and I wish that I could go live in one of their brains for a day and just see what that's like being a kid. Like, I was like the ugly poor kid, fine, but like I still had friends, but now there's people literally looking at your Instagram, making fun of you for that. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and like curating your life, and are your photos face-tuned or are they not? And like, are you like truly living? It's like all you are watched at all times, which really freaks me. Like, I feel so bad for kids in that sense because it's already tough enough being a kid.
As we do it to ourselves every day.
Well, that's what I know. I'm always wondering if like we are. If we were the guinea pigs in this kind of like new digital realm, and if we've now gotten to the point where we're making it worse because we're like glamorizing it, and it can be like, it's not always a bad thing. I hate to like paint all of this as a bad thing, but I'm wondering if it's getting to the point like, did we cause this?
Is
this our fault?
Okay, like unpopular opinion, but like, so, like I always hear when we're talking about mental health, it's like every time I go on social media, like it induces like sadness and depression, but like. Honestly, like when I go on social media, it helps me. Like, it helps me because I'm like, okay, like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just sit and I'll be like, okay, what am I doing today? And then I'll go on Instagram and see like people like out living their lives or like looking cute and all that. And I'm like, I want to get up and get cute too.
I've never felt depressed from social media though, I
Yeah.
don't think. But I think
Not
it's because
even
I
a
don't
comment?
really. Well, no, for sure. But like just like going on social media has never depressed me. But I think that's more so because I don't really compare myself to people.
Yeah,
So
Gotcha.
I'm not like
Same, yeah.
like I know some people, sometimes I'll hang out with girls and they'll be like talking about, oh my God, did you see how like far her likes dropped? And I'm like, no.
How far?
Her likes dropped. Like, dude, her
Her legs. I heard legs.
No,
I heard
no,
legs.
no,
And I was
no.
like, what'd she do to her legs?
No, but like I know girls who can literally spout at the top of their head like, oh, she's only getting like 300 likes or 300,000 likes a photo right now. And I'm like, why do you know that? That's so crazy to me.
So strange.
Yeah, I definitely have friends that say that. I'm just like, you guys.
I probably do a lot of subconscious comparing myself to other people and their, how they're doing on stuff. But
Oh, I never
like
look.
it's-
Yeah, I know. I think it'd be silly to think that like you don't at some point, again, even if it's subconscious, to like, even if you just see someone's photo, it's like, they look really good. Wish I had a six pack, or I wish I was Tanner, or I wish like, I feel like it'd be really difficult not to feel that way. It's really big in the gay community. Like there's this weird stereotype of a gay man that you have to be like 6-pack abs, perfect teeth, like well kept and well groomed, and like on dating apps you're scrolling through people and it's impossible. Some of these people, I'm like, they better be Facetune because I don't know how all of these people look this way in a way that I'm like, it's unhealthy. There's no way that everyone can look this good all the time. That it's impossible to compare yourself to.
Yeah.
But I know people are comparing themselves if they don't think about it that way.
Yeah.
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 I've actually heard that a lot about like the gay community, because when I'm dating a man, it's hard to compare me to the man physically because we both have different physical attributes. But if you're dating the same sex, then you're like, oh, like her waist is smaller than mine and like her tits are better than mine, and I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it definitely, again, it like perpetuates an impossible stereotype.
Does that just hate you?
It's just, if I was dating another man, I'd be like comparing myself to his body the whole time. Like, yeah.
Tell me more about if you were dating a man. give me a little more information on that. Kidding. Sorry about that. Interesting question, because I feel like this was an unexpected path for all of us to be on. And I'm wondering, what has it given you that has been unexpected, whether it's something physical or like confidence, or what has it taken from you? What do you feel like living this lifestyle and having this job has made you lose in a way?
I mean, privacy, right?
Yeah.
Anonymity,
Yeah.
free time, sense of humanity.
I think like finding enjoyment in doing things is harder because I'm always thinking about like what I'm going to post next. You know?
Yeah.
Or also feeling the need to film that cool thing that's happening, that fun thing that's happening.
That's definitely annoying, like, because I love to do like everything and I like genuinely love to do it, but then I'll be like on a trip somewhere and I'll be like, okay, listen, I have a phone, which means like stories and iPhone photos, then I have a camera, then I have film camera, then I have my video camera, then I have like a drone. It's like 5 different pieces of equipment and I want to use them all for every single thing that I think is cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to figure out how I live like this. I still haven't figured that out, but
Yeah, it's hard.
And you can go on a little vacation or something, and when you come back, if people know that you went, they're like, "When's he gonna post about that?" Like,
oh god, no,
and so they expect you to like document stuff because you document stuff.
Literally, that's why I only post from my apartment. Like, people think I'm sitting at home by myself all day because the only time I'm posting on social media is when I'm at home in my bed doing nothing else, because otherwise I just get sucked into the warp. It's why I stopped vlogging. It's why I like stopped doing twice a week videos, because there's just too much, dude.
No, definitely. I know people literally think I have no friends. I'm like, oh, I'm just not posting about them.
Yeah.
I'm not like posting photos with my friends or posting stories every time I'm with my friends, because
yeah.
I don't need to
Trying
do
to
that.
live in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like
Yeah.
keep it separate, I guess. Do you allow yourselves time to like put your phone down, or is it almost impossible nowadays? To like
Hard.
Yeah.
It is hard.
It's really
Boredom, I feel like.
When I sleep, I put it down for sure.
Sleep scrolling. But what time do you pick it up in the morning?
As soon as I wake up.
Exactly,
I
same.
don't take it in the shower.
Do you take
Yeah.
it? You don't take it in the shower. I don't know why I heard do.
I don't either, but that's just because I just found out that they're like water resistant.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea.
I've done it like
I don't
once
trust it
when
even
I
though
was,
it says
like, really
that it's-
sad. I had a lot to talk about, so I just brought it in the shower. Continued to text. I was like,
I have in the past like woken up to go pee and I'll grab my phone and like be like, oh, I'm gonna look at this while I'm going to the bathroom. But then I realize it keeps you wide awake afterwards. Like, it's
the
so
blue
hard.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm gonna check my text and then go back to sleep, like it's impossible to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you find it hard to take a break then? Because burnout is such a big topic in the YouTube community this year, especially. Even though, again, I think it's always been a thing. I think they just now have like
People
a
just
term.
aren't talking about
Yeah,
it.
they just have
Yeah.
a term associated with it. And then with anything, I think everyone's like, oh, I feel that way too. And I was like, no shit, we've all been feeling it for years.
I know.
I haven't had this for almost a decade.
God.
What do you think you mean, Perrin?
Yeah.
I'm tired too.
TikTokers, you don't get to complain yet. You're new.
Yeah, really. Not that I'm bitter.
It's funny because even that was even something on Vine. I think like 6-second
Oh, yeah.
videos. You know, you're getting really happy if your post is doing really well, and you're getting really depressed if you put a bunch of work into a 6-second video and it did really bad. Like
Yeah. You're so tethered to the numbers, and it's so sad, but
Yeah.
it's true. And there's really no way to fix that. Like, I've talked about this in therapy extensively, and I'm like, when my career's not doing well and I can see the numbers, it makes me sad. If I post a video and it's blowing up, it makes me very happy.
Yeah.
And it falls into the rest of my life.
And there's always a fear that like you can just fall off too. Like at some point people can just be like, I'm kind of bored of that person. And
No security,
Yeah.
no telling what the future. You might be canceled tomorrow. People just over you tomorrow. It's just
so you have to have the drive to keep on putting out stuff that people are going to enjoy. And
Yeah, but doesn't that get exhausting? Like, do you ever,
well, you've been there.
I know.
We all.
It was like, girl, yeah, I'm been there right now. No, yeah, but doesn't it, like, do you allow yourselves time to take breaks? Like, I feel like your content seems like it's uploaded in a way that you do allow yourself to have time.
I mean, honestly, it's like, it was one of the things that drove me crazy. What landed me, so last time I was depressed before my YouTube depression, like, whole phase was when I was 14, when I was going through all of that. And then like everything was just going so fast. It was almost like tunnel vision. I was like, oh, like now I'm in college, now I'm doing YouTube, and what the fuck? Like my life is just blowing up, you know? And then I think in 2016 was when I started finding interest in other things. Still YouTube, but I was taking time off of YouTube to do other things that I was interested in. And I was meeting all new friends, and I was just doing different things. And my YouTube content, I stopped uploading weekly for the first time in 4 years. And I got away with it for like a month. And then a month happened, and I looked at my YouTube channel, and I hadn't uploaded in a month. And the anxiety that came with coming back to YouTube was so insane, because like we're all super perfectionists, I'm sure. And I'm like, I need to make like a epic video to come back, and I need to do a coming back video. And if it's not good enough, then I'm not going to upload it, and I have to edit it forever. And this isn't good enough. I have to take another month to film something else. And 1 month turned into 3 months. And suddenly I was the person that dropped off the face of YouTube, which I would look at people that did that and be like, they're so stupid. Why would they leave YouTube for 3 months? They'll never be who they were, you know? And like, I was that person, and I was so scared because I was afraid to say no to things. So I was just like stressed and depressed. And so, yeah, I went to therapy, and basically like something just clicked one time in a therapy session, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to it. And I haven't been in that point of my life, depression. Like literally I was sleeping on my bed for like weeks at a time with no sheets and cat pee in a corner of my bed because my cat peed on my bed and I didn't clean it. I think I slept with poop on my bed a couple nights. Piles of clothes in my room on my bed. I like, you know, depressed. Couldn't even go to Target to buy soap because I was afraid to see a fan that would ask me when my next video would be uploaded. So I was like postmating soap. And yeah, I can't say that like I've figured out my weekly schedule, because I definitely haven't. I literally haven't uploaded in a month, and then just started uploading again 2 weeks ago.
And are doing amazing.
But
Thriving, glowing.
it's crazy because it's like the fact that people have stuck with me, it's like I don't deserve that. Like, I mean, I feel like deep down, like I'm so creative and I love what I do, but on the outside, like someone could easily be like, Eva doesn't care, and I've gotten those tweets and all of that. But like,
yeah, but listen to that language you're telling yourself.
What?
Like you just said about yourself, knowing you're a hard worker, knowing you're creative, knowing like your capabilities, just said, I don't deserve that.
yeah.
That's crazy. Like, of course you deserve it.
And also, like, what's the
I feel like I don't deserve it because
Who decided you have to post every week?
No, yeah, I was like, who decided you deserve it? Because someone's posting daily vlogs, they like their content has more worth than yours, or because they're more like essential to the website. I don't know who decided
And who
that.
set the schedule that you have to post every week?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that's kind of what that's all I knew for 4 years. And like when I see my friends uploading weekly, and like they have like these fan bases that are so engaged, and then when I see myself uploading weekly and I feel my fan base feeling like they're more connected to me, and each week that I don't, I feel like I'm slipping further and further away. It's like a friend. It's like not texting a friend for a month, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't text your friend for a month and then you text them and they're like, oh my God, Eva, you're like, I don't deserve this. I dropped off the face of your life. You
But
know?
there's something to be said that you actually think about it that way, and you're not just like taking a couple months off. Like you're concerned, and you're thoughtful in what you're going to do when you come back, and you're concerned about the people that are supporting you.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something to be said there. It'd be different if you were truly just like.
But also you
peace.
deserve it.
Yeah.
So like, glad you care about your fans, but also you're a human being with a brain who needs time and space, and you want to go on vacation without bringing your camera, and that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love uploading weekly. I love like the feeling of that. I wish I had that for more than a month at a time.
Yeah.
Because it is a good feeling.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult.
But it can be difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about like all other jobs, like any desk job, or like an actor will work on a movie and then they got vacation for a month or so, or maybe a press thing. I don't know.
And the truth is, people don't want to believe it, but like YouTubers work harder than a 9-to-5. Most 9-to-5s.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's some jobs that take a lot more, but we're
there's definitely
working
exceptions to
constantly.
them.
So like it makes sense that if you're working for a week straight on a video and then you post it, and then you work for a week straight on a video and then you post it, and you don't clock out, and even when you go to bed you're thinking about your video, and then you have ideas and you are constantly trying to keep up with your creativity, that you would need to take a break from your 1,000-hour work week in a way that a 9-to-5 wouldn't just take a weekend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at it in the way where it's like, okay, like a video editor, that's their one job. They have a 9-to-5 doing that. Like, we edit videos, we have to post, like, we have 300 jobs. There's people that their only job is to post social media for a brand.
Yeah.
Not create the media, edit the media, and be the face of it. You know?
I always...
we have like 6 desk jobs.
Yeah, I always think it's funny too how everyone's comparing struggles, and everyone's like, my struggle's harder than yours isn't as hard as that person's. I'm like, why are we all competing and comparing? Why aren't we all just...
Did you see that quote about that? About drowning in 7 feet of water versus drowning in 20 feet of water? It's
No.
like, you're both dead, so stop comparing.
True.
Like, it doesn't matter.
True.
Everybody struggle. Like,
But truly, and I don't know why there's that massive stigma with YouTubers, and do they work, do they deserve what they have? And I'm like, why does it matter? Like, why does it matter? If they're like not horrible people, and they're not being horrible people, why are you trying to bring them down? Anybody, no matter what they're doing, no matter what job they have. It's the same, it always frustrates me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you have a sentence?
I was just breathing.
How do you maintain your stability with your mental health? Do you guys use mindfulness apps? Do you meditate? Do you go to therapy? Do you again like take time to put your phone away? How do you kind of stay sane in a world that seems pretty insane?
Are we sane?
I think friends are so important to me, and like having people that I can go to talk to, like just vent and just like have an open, like it's so important to have a friend that you can just be 100% vulnerable with. Like if I didn't have that, I'd go crazy in my own thoughts.
Definitely.
And I would just probably be tweeting everything that I go through, which I already do. But I know to step back because I have friends. I got a couple, not a lot. I got like maybe 2, but
real genuine friends are so important. Also, like working out or fitness or some type of activity, whatever the hobby
Why am I doing the marathon I'm doing right now?
I think
But it's so good, right?
It keeps me stable.
exercise and just like staying busy is like super important for me anyways. Like I have to be doing something so that I can't dwell on something negative.
Definitely. Yeah, I find I like talk to my parents all the time, or I'll talk to my siblings all the time. Like I have a moment usually when it sounds cheesy when I put it this way, but like when the sun is kind of going down, the work week is over or the work day is over, I'll like call one of my siblings or my parents or like a friend from like home that isn't here in this bubble, and it'll ground me so much and just talk about mundane shit.
Yeah, it's so nice, and it's like I feel like for so long I didn't have friends like that. Like it's so weird. Like the friends that I have now, I do just call and like talk to them like on the phone while I'm driving, and like we just talk about like stuff that's going on in our day, and then like, all right, well like have a good day, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I feel like such an adult. I'm like, me too. I'm calling my friends to like ask about their day. Like I didn't have that for like years on YouTube because it was just YouTube friends like texting, being like, OMG, like so and so's like Instagram is crappy today.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa, now I have people I can like call and talk to.
Well, and then have like
jokes with that are inside jokes.
and like diverse interests and opinions, and so you're not fully like again like caught in your own cycle of the internet, because it doesn't matter as much as people make it seem like it does. It's like it just doesn't matter.
No.
And as soon as you allow yourself to accept that, like as soon as you allow yourself to be like, the likes don't matter, the views don't matter, they matter to a certain point that like you have financial stability, but they're not worth you losing your mind over. Yeah.
Love hanging out with like yoga teachers and like assistants. It's like the best.
But then those yoga teachers have Instagrams, and then that's a whole other Jesus.
Okay, a couple final questions. How do you define wellness? All of you.
Googles.
How do you? Oh my God! You spread out the exact definition. How do you define wellness?
Being happy with where you're at. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you answer that question?
I think I don't know. I came to this place. I think it's just like self-love, and like no matter what you're doing, you know, like there's a wave of just self-love underneath everything. Like that's kind of the foundation of everything. Because if someone hurts you or if something's not going your way that day, I feel like if every layer is chipped aside, you still have like the layer of like, hey, like you're who you are, like you're good.
Yeah.
Like let's go to the next day, you know?
Yeah.
And I kind of call that for myself, I call it like my light. So like
Cute.
That is really cute.
So it's like as long as you have like, if you feel like light, like I try to feel like light all of my life. If I don't feel like light, that's a really bad time.
Yeah.
And I need to turn the light on somehow, but that's kind of how I go, because I just want to be like a beacon of light for people.
That's beautiful.
I think for me, wellness is mostly just perpetual growth and improvement and forgiving yourself for past mistakes and who you've been and if you didn't like who that was. And then if you do something today where you're just like, I could have handled that better, then just instead of dwelling on it or blaming something, just recognizing it being better for the future, and then the empathy of seeing that in other people. And if somebody's acting really aggressive or weird or angry towards you, or you don't know why they acted that certain way, just say they're acting like that because their brain is telling them to do that, and it's probably because something that has happened. So just grow yourself and then understand in others that they're just growing too, and everybody's gonna grow eventually. Well, not everybody, but
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
You guys are all very well spoken. I'll find wellness when I can talk.
And to end on a positive note, since this, the topic of burnout and mental health and anxiety and depression is quite heavy, what advice could you give to anyone that's watching that may find themselves in a darker place when they were younger, or may find themselves struggling, or even finds themselves in a non-privileged situation where they can't reach out to someone and they do feel like they're isolated?
Find your outlet.
Find your outlet.
Like find the will within yourself to like do whatever it takes to make you happy, because at the end of the day, that's like really all that matters. Like if you aren't happy, how are you going to make someone else happy? Like don't look for other things to make you solid. Like that has to start with you, and it's hard, but I mean that's the most important thing to focus on. You can't get anything done.
Yep.
And try really hard to not hate yourself. Even or like blame yourself and just like I feel like honestly try not to hate yourself. But try not to like look at your life and just, blame yourself for everything, and instead of focusing on all the negative shit, just be like, all right, how can I fix it? And maybe this wasn't my fault, and forgiving
Definitely.
your past, and
If you tell yourself something enough, it's going to be true. So if you continually tell yourself you're shit, you're a bad person, you're horrible, eventually you're going to believe it.
And maybe you're not the monster that's been here all along.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh boy.
And on that note.
Yeah, on that note. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, ASMR fun.
Good job, guys. Awesome. Crushed the life.